All right, everyone. Hi, everyone. My name is Kenneth Price, and this is Wednesday, 5 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. I think it's my time. I'm in Mexico. Wednesday, June 9th, and this is our midweek Zoom call for a ministry that I'm hosting. The name of the ministry is Psychiatric Sobriety, psychiatricsobriety.com. It's a ministry I started 8 months ago, or it's a ministry that evolved 8 months ago, and I have the privilege of hosting this ministry. Ministry goes like this, real simple. Not easy. It's simple, but it's not easy. So it's for the courageous souls who have chosen to exit psychiatry, surrender their pharmaceuticals, and permeate the veils of mental illness. Now, the reason I'm hosting this ministry, folks, is because that's exactly what I was called to do in my parable. I was diagnosed with many mental illnesses as a young man. And I got, I don't say got, that's a victim word. I allowed myself to enter the mental health system, and I was polydrugged on countless pharmaceuticals, including benzodiazepines. And I made the decision in my 40s to challenge that hypothesis. Challenge the hypothesis that I was mentally ill. And I slowly began to step up my vision quest. And along with my vision quest came the responsibility I had to surrender all my pharmaceuticals. And the pharmaceuticals, the psychotropics were difficult. The benzodiazepine was the most difficult. 4 milligrams of Klonopin, folks. I know what it takes to do this work. And that's why I come back, and I want to support anyone who has made the decision to do this. It was the best decision I could have possibly made. I can't keep this miracle unless I share it with others. But since it's since what I just said is a very huge quantum leap, I have to put some disclaimers in this archive. Folks, those of us who come on board, we're not telling anybody what's right for them, what they should do. We can't give advice, and we're not here to judge psychiatry either. We're not here to say that pharmaceuticals are bad. We're here to offer our own testimonies of emergence for others who would like a lighthouse. So this is a ministry. This is not it's much less self-help coaching, and it's more about capturing. There were a lot of components to my emergence, folks, but the most important was a higher power. So that's what I'm extending to others. So I've gone through the disclaimers. Folks, it's being recorded to YouTube, okay? So we go for about an hour to about an hour and 20 minutes, doesn't go on much longer than that, and then we wrap it up. But we keep the Zoom room open. So if there are if there's some information you don't want on the internet, just wait till the end. And after I'm done with the recording, then we can have we can share more freely. And let's see, donations, folks. I'm not sure where to go with all this donations thing, because I get so much out of this. I get a lot out of this because when I extend the miracle, it comes back. That being said, I put a lot of time into this. So if you do receive something from this, note that I don't want to charge money. So if you look in the description line below, you'll see a link to my website, our website. I'm not taking any of this personal credit for any of this. If I do, it's over. A link to our website, Psychiatric Sobriety, and donations are accepted with gratuity. So, all right, before we start, since I said it's a ministry, I want to bring spirit into this. So I'm going to share with everyone, it's called the Healer's Prayer. I'm a Course in Miracles student. The Course in Miracles was the path that emerged my soul from the belief in mental illness. So this is a prayer called the Healer's Prayer from, I don't remember what manual it's from. I am here only to be truly helpful. I am here to represent him who sent me, him or her. I do not have to worry about what to say or what to do. because him or her who sent me will direct me. I am content to be wherever he wishes, he or she wishes, knowing he or she goes there with me. I will be healed as I let him or her teach me to heal. How mine works. Okay, I'm really excited. Here's why I'm excited. As you can tell, I'm in Mexico now. This is the way my ministry works. It operates on synchronicity. I have no explanation for how this ministry works other than maybe I'm a conduit of some variety, or this body dream character called Kenneth is some sort of conduit. That being said, before I even came to Mexico, there's this wonderful soul who came on board who I began to connect with. And next thing you know, she said, well, I'm in a spiritual community in Mexico. And I said, well, I'm going to a spiritual community in Mexico. And she said, well, I'm living in one called Namaste. And I said, I'm going to one called Namaste. Guess what? And yesterday morning we joined, and it was just an explosion of light. Beloved, your real name is Raina, but all of us here at Namaste call you beloved. Can you unmute yourself? If we could recreate that conversation that we had the other morning, where the light was just pouring out of you, that's the reason I record these for YouTube, because stuff like that is so valuable. I put you on.
No, thank you. I'm just so blessed to be here. And like you said, the synchronicity. I can't tell you. If somebody said, how did I know about you? I can't tell you how we got connected. But I will say that when I saw what you were doing and I saw a video, I was on fire. And I really wanted to get to know you and be a part of this. And then, like you told the story, you're coming here, and we're actually in Mexico, people, in the same community. So God has a great sense of humor.
There was so much, and it just came out unrehearsed, and it was also valuable. You know, one of the things that I want everyone to know. Now, listen to this. One of the things that there were many things that were components of my mental illness. It wasn't about, oh, you've got, a chemical imbalance and we should adjust the chemistry. No. Mine were grievances. And I had a chip on my shoulder. I'm a gay man, and you don't know what the straight people did to the gay community. And then but then I said an earnest prayer. I said, look, God, I need help. And then I met Beloved, who was a gay woman who's African American, and she was sharing with me about her chip on her shoulder. And then we both started discussing our emergence together. You know, since I'm a Course in Miracles student, I know how difficult it is to surrender a grievance. And I'm here with my testimony that as I, became willing to surrender my grievances, my mental illnesses no longer had a foothold. They began to fall away by themselves organically. And that was something that was so beautiful. I can't do it alone. None of us can do this alone. That's the reason I've created this ministry. And to sit with Beloved, in her casita here in Ajijic, Mexico, and to hear she has the same story, folks. The mental illnesses fall away when we courageously practice forgiveness.
Really, and really key is what you said. To be a victim gives you no power. And to be able to be honest, we don't know how. So Course in Miracles is a mind training program that allowed my mind to be trained and cleared and clarified, if you will, purified, so that I could actually be honest enough to see my part in my story. Because it was you, it's your fault. It was you white people, it was you other people, it was you it was you blah, 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 blah. I got him too, and, of course said, what's your part in this? Is it all of them? Are these, you just innocent little thing, poor thing, all these people. And so it's been a journey, and I was excited, Kenneth, that you created this, because for anyone who's been where I was, 3 children diagnosed after 40 with bipolar, and being bipolar, they said, since I was a child. And it was shattering. It shattered my world. It shattered my world. And I just want to, at this age, my children are grown, children of their own. I'm a grandmother. You can get through it. That's what I'm here to witness. Help will come. It's grace. Got me, when I thought I was going to die. I wanted to die, certainly. Hopeless. I've been there. Hopeless, dark. And I knew everything. So that meant I was stuck because I knew there was no help for me. And even through that, a light came through. So I just want to put that out there. And I think all of us are on a spiritual journey, and I think that's what mental illness is. And I am writing a book, From Bipolar to Beloved, and it describes my journey before A Course in Miracles and after A Course in Miracles. And I'm going to use A Course in Miracles, even though certainly I have been helped by Byron Katie, Eckhart Tolle. I can go on, and Ram Dass. I can go on and on, because I've been in this business a long time, trying to find the truth, right? Religions, blah, blah, blah. But A Course in Miracles answered every question I had unequivocally, and click, made sense. And I done tested it. It's like going on 16 years now. I done tested this thing 16 years, because I wasn't, it sounded good and everything, but I had to know more, and it's a journey. And so once I had the truth, I had something to build on, and that wouldn't betray me. I've been betrayed by everything I used to believe and put my faith in. So, so for me, being in a spiritual community, you can't say things like, I have bipolar disorder, because we're spiritual beings and we're beings of light, and we're, we know we're not a body, and we can get all spiritual thinking. But I'm here real. I have women that I meet to this day that have gotten this diagnosis and are left to take drugs, a pill, and told what to do, but where's the support to get through it? And it's not going to happen. Non-compliance is really big, of course, with a lot of us, and some of us self-medicate, they call it, and so I just want to be a witness and a resource for any, especially foster child, Catholic, Muslim, in a cult for 12 years, Mexican, Black, woman, gay, 3 children, anybody like that, molested, they're all gifts of connection to me. Because I can sit here and laugh, and I'm truly laughing. I'm having a great time. I'm happy. I know how to connect. I know the way if fear peeks into my mind again. Fear makes you crazy. Fear makes you crazy. And that's all this world manufactures, and in my experience. We're all managing fear. So we did share a lot, Kenneth, and I feel like this is my brother. Really, it's just my heart. We're all the same, really. Our grievances made it hard. My hate made it hard, and I suffered greatly for my hate. The amount of hate I had, the amount of suffering. Yeah. So drinking the poison, expecting someone else to die. No, I was suffering greatly. And forgiveness, I love forgiveness. It is the key. It's everything. It has allowed me to love myself. It has allowed me to realize my children love me, no matter how many lists of grievances I have against myself as a terrible mother, a non-custodial mother at times. You know, I got all the mom guilt. I used to tell my kids, Oprah's gonna love you, but she doesn't have her show now. But so I just want to be that person that says, yeah, you can make it too. You can make it to the light is there, and there is no place else. You just think it is. You just think it's all darkness. I just knew it was. I just knew there was nothing but what I could figure out, that arrogance of mine. And it's nice not to know. It's nice to have faith. It's nice to open to love and be vulnerable. Vulnerable. Braces kind of trick me up. And to put my pink elephants out there to talk about and not tiptoe about. I want to talk. I want to talk with my family about the experience I had, and it hasn't happened yet. So I don't know if you all have that, where it just didn't happen in the history of our family. Something as critical as my episode of, I can never remember what they call it when you have a really, really great manic episode. It's like an extra special one. They have a name for it. And I was gone up there for 30 days. So it was a lot of earthquakes happened when you ramp it on 30 days of magical love, power, I will call it. And I tell people, I was just telling someone of my experience, and don't call it bipolar, don't call it, what was it to you? I said it was a spiritual experience, but they told me it was bipolar. Nobody tells you, they say, oh, you can't be, you know, those highs. No, you can't be that high, because then it puts you down that low. And so both of them were not allowed. I wanted my high, I didn't want the low, you know, give me two. But I want to, it happened. I don't know how else to describe it. Yes, it was a spiritual experience, I say, for all of us, all of our mental illness, you know, they should call it mind illness. I said, why don't they call it mind illness? Why is it mental illness? I guess mental for brain, so it's all material. But to me, it was just my need for truth. I was born, I needed the truth. I needed honesty in my life. I needed it, and I wanted it from everybody. And I had chips on my shoulder, and I just totally built this persona of anger and hate and, you know, whatever personality facade we built. And, you know, I'm just here to tell you, be happy. We can be happy. And that's all we're asked to be. And happiness is finding whatever practice you want. It doesn't have to be a Course in Miracles, but find something that resonates to you'll know your heart center. You'll know it. You'll feel it. You won't be able to resist it. It'll call you, it'll pull you from your heart. And you'll turn around and find you've been studying it for a number of years. Oh yeah, this must be my path. And you commit to it. And it's just love. It's just love. And I was on pharmaceuticals. I will say, once they diagnosed me, I did try their way for a minute, and I'm not going to say a minute because I wasn't going to do it. I'm not blah blah. I wasn't going to do it. And eventually, I was on lithium, first Depakote, and I didn't like Depakote, so they put me on lithium. I was on lithium, and I started doing my own research, since they told me bipolar they don't know the cause, and there's no cure. And I didn't feel comfortable being treated for something they didn't know the cause of. I don't know how you can treat someone if you don't know what caused it and you can't cure it. What do you, I didn't like that logic that they had. That logic didn't work for me. And they just tried to, they brush it off. You're just supposed to believe them. You're just supposed to take all what they say. I'm the doctor. Yeah, I'm like, really? Oh, it's just like you wear glasses every day. You brush your teeth. You just have to take this pill every day. They just put it so casual. Start doing your research. And Kay Redfield Jamison, I love her. From years since I was diagnosed, I have read all her books, and I'm studying her. I'm using her to refer to when I write my book. And she is someone who is an advocate of lithium and has been on it all her life, and she credits it with allowing her to continue in her profession and develop all this. And in the latest I saw her on YouTube, she is still on lithium, and she's terrified that if something happens and she can't get her lithium, she's going to die, because now she's addicted to it. She can't stop it. So she says, you can't stop it. She's been taking it for this long, like decades. She's been on lithium. So, but I don't know. I wasn't going to be that. I can't brush my teeth every day. That's why I've got braces. So I'm not. But I'm not, like Kenneth said, we're not doctors. I'm not a therapist. I don't have no credentials. I just have my experience. And I didn't want to do it. And I was going to find another way. I still had 3 kids. I still had to work. I still had whatever life going on, but I had to find another way of doing this thing. And I was better when I stopped my medication. I will tell you, I thought, when there's no symptoms, you think you're cured. That's what another therapist was just telling me the other day that I met here, when she was talking about bipolar patients, and she was trying to give me her medical perspective. But it was great. And exercise was my tool. So I got into exercising. It really took me far. And of course, like anything in this world, it's going to betray you. If you think it's going to save you, a beautiful body, you can kick your leg up, like that's going to make you happy. No. And it didn't. And I discovered Tai Chi. Now that changed my whole world, because I didn't know how to be quiet. I didn't know meditation. I didn't know deep breathing. I didn't know move slow. I didn't know relax. I didn't know those things. I was run, do, get, more. So, and running into Tai Chi was running into a brick wall, definitely for me at the time. And then, of course, the internal work starts with metaphysical, being introduced to the metaphysical way. So by the time I had gotten off of medications, I started working out. And I was really regular. I mean, I was on a routine. And so that really helped pull me out of my depression, because I was in a really deep depression too at that time. And that really helped. But, I don't want anybody to think, oh, that's a panacea. A lot of people think it is. Oh, let me exercise. Let me do yoga every day. Let me, do all this. It's just another Band-Aid. It helps. I think it helped to open my mind, helped me relax enough so I could connect. It helped me in many ways. It was great. And I didn't eat well. And I would now say I should have been eating better, because you can get arrogant just because you look good and you can do all that stuff, and you can eat ice cream and it will show up later. Yeah. So I wish I had known about it. No, I did know, but I had practiced better eating. I think that's critical for all of us. Self-care, excellent self-care, I will say. Excellent self-care. Really critical for all of us. Whatever illness we appear to be dealing with. And so that was really helpful. It did backfire, because the ego can, then you're looking all good, and then it starts going downhill, and then what happens? Oh my God, are you gonna keep it looking together? And And then it just gets crazy. So, that can be another path to crazy. So I would just say the inner journey is it. However you find a path to take you. I say discipline is not a dirty word. All of us better grow up. It is time for discipline. Discipline is self-love. Discipline is self-love. I love discipline. I love it. And it's no judgment in it, when you're not what you think, but you're a disciple. To be a disciple of what you say you are. Practice what you preach. That's all discipline means. I practice what I preach, right? So, how do I do, Kenneth? Anything you can think of?
Archive.
That is so wonderful. I'm going to say this to my children. If you ever see this, I love you. Thank you. It's not contagious. I know you're scared to talk about, oh, am I mentally ill because mommy was? But I hope maybe even more of these videos. I haven't seen them all, Kenneth, but that can help you see we're not any different. And if you find yourself, somebody says, oh, you have a mental illness, it's not the end of the world. It just means it's time to wake up and start your inner journey. So I just want to tell that to my children if they ever happen upon this video, and to you guys too. Hi, guys.
I can't add to that. Cover so many of. Beloved, can you mute yourself? I think I'm getting a echo in the back there. I don't understand how Zoom works. Sometimes there turns out to be an echo. I can't add to that. My request was that you could, we could recreate the conversation that we had 2 mornings ago, and Spirit just recreated that conversation so we could put it into a YouTube archive. Thank you. No, I can't. I can't add to that, but I do have to mention that for the sake of this YouTube video, that when I met Beloved, she was shining. She came up to me in a church service and she wrapped her arms around me. We have a lot of, it takes a lot of work to do this, but it's very simple. It's love. All right, well, thank you. There's more to that, of course, and I've taken a lot of notes, but let's see if we can get to Tina, Jody, and Amy. Would someone like to jump in and start a dialogue, ask some questions, share what's going on? If not, we could start with Tina unmuted herself. I saw Tina doing this.
Wow, Raina, thank you so much for sharing that. Once again, as is the case when anyone shares, so relatable. So many things are so relatable. I'm glad y'all got to meet up there in Mexico. I wish I could be there too. I wanted to speak to something that you mentioned. There was a point when my life sucked. And I thought it was everybody else's fault. It was this person's fault for things that they did to me, and that person's fault for things that they said, and this person's fault for giving me bad advice. And gosh, like everything was everybody else's fault. And I didn't know for a long time the part I was playing in that. And the first time somebody said to me, you have to get out of a victim role if you want to get better. I'm like, what are you talking about? I am a victim. I'm a victim of all these circumstances and all these people, and I'm like this because of them. But it took me a while. We all have to find our way and find our path and figure out what works for us to get us where we need to go. And once I found what those things were and started to move forward, I saw what my role was, and I played a huge role in that. And once I started to address that, things slowly started to turn around. So yeah, super offended when somebody told me stop being a victim. So now when I'm on the other side of that and I say anything to others about the victim role, they have the same reaction that I had back then. Like, what are you talking about? But no, that's really all I have to say for the moment. I'll pass it to someone else.
Amy, you came in on another Zoom call. Would you feel comfortable unmuting yourself and sharing anything with us? I just want as much participation as possible. I got to unmute yourself first. Unmute. There should be a mute button. There
Can
you
you
go.
can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, wasn't wanting to unmute for me. I don't really know what to share. I'm kind of a little bit more new to all of this. Well, I can't say all of this. It's been a couple of years that I've been coming off of medication myself. I am just getting over COVID finally, thank God, after the past few weeks. I am currently tapering off benzodiazepine. I was polydrugged, but the two medications that I was on the longest, 25 years, I'm off of nifazodone, which is also known as Cerazone, and trazodone. I'm done with both of those. I cold turkey both of those, and now I'm just finishing up my taper with Klonopin. But that's pretty much where I'm at with coming off of psychiatric meds for me. And I'm still new to all of this, so I have no clue. As far as I did my first year of coming off of everything completely by myself without doctors. I didn't know about any of the Facebook groups. I didn't know about Benzo Buddies. I didn't know about any of the groups for the first over a year. So even just meeting people that even know what I'm talking about is almost kind of different. Anytime I would say to a doctor or anybody in the medical profession that, well, I'm currently coming off of my medications. Oh, no, we're going to double you up, or we're going to, oh no, you need this, you need more of that, you need more of this. So it's been like just hearing people talking about their experiences and, how they, it's I don't even know. It's almost scary. Like it's hard to believe that there are people out there that going through the same thing, because it was a long, rough road to get just to where I'm at now. So.
That's beautiful, Amy. It's not that I'm some sort of spiritual teacher who has, a great message. It's that I fell 100% into that trap, and I allowed myself to be, I allowed this body to ingest dozens, if not, I don't know how many there were over the course of 25 years. Mine was self-medicating. I don't know if you've watched my other videos. I truly was frightened of my own light. And it was, I allowed myself to believe in the fear-based model. And when I realized the limitations of that and what it would take to get off, I started my vision quest, and maybe some people would call it a hero's journey. Now, what I can do for this community is I can just very simply, smile and let everyone see that it's not true. I was not damaged by these medications. I was never mentally ill in the first place. And even beyond that, I don't regret my psychiatric parable, because I get to shine this light for others. I've said this in so many other videos. You're not going to listen to some new age life coach, but you may listen to me because I get to wear the badge of the wounded healer now. And I get to start this ministry where a lot of these in what's called the medically injured community have so much information that I don't need to spend time with, because the information's already out there. And also they're still on a horizontal timeline. And that's what their role is. I get to inject the vertical timeline into, it's not even a timeline, I call it a vertical axis, into the medically injured community, where I get to state profoundly, number one, that I wasn't damaged, who I wasn't damaged. And then I get to go even further than that. And I get to state it's not necessary for the belief in time to capture a vertical axis miracle. The component of fear running around this community is what started this ministry. It's going to take time. I've been damaged. It's going to take time. I've been damaged. The purpose of my ministry is to say, no, 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 no. It doesn't need to be. So it gets into complicated metaphysics. So I would like to next see how my mighty companion Jody's doing. She could unmute herself now. She came in a little bit late. You came in a little bit late, Jody. Raina is her name, but we all call her beloved here at Namaste in Ajijic, Mexico. Serendipitously, we shouldn't be surprised by now that her and I began to communicate when I was in Portland. And I said, well, where do you live? And she goes, oh, I'm living in a spiritual community in Mexico. And I said, well, I'm going next week to a spiritual. Guess what? We're here together. How are you doing this evening, Jody?
Really good. I've just spent basically 8 days in a retreat. We do everything on Zoom these days, so I didn't actually go anywhere. It's all just online. So I'm feeling really good about where I am and where I'm going. And I'm feeling really good about my ability to help others along the way, to be the way shower and the lighthouse. That this journey to do that, to come back into this community, to shine the light, to offer hope to those who are still struggling through it, has been really challenging. So I feel good right now here about my next steps. I want to say congratulations, Amy, for getting here. It's a hard road. I came off of 13 drugs. 4 of them were benzos. And it took a long time to heal. And so I am a wounded healer. I've gone on to become a healer. I'm a soul healer. I'm a soul communicator. I'm training to become a transformational coach, a recovery and wellness coach. I'm taking peer support worker training right now. And yeah, so I feel really ready for the next step, to get my message out and share with the world what I have to share. I finally posted that video, Kenneth, from 2 weeks ago, Sunday, my emergence journey story. I finally posted that on my YouTube channel 2 days ago. Yeah.
Spiritual communities run the gamut. So down here in Mexico, there's 2 Course in Miracles communities. Now, it took me a while to start this ministry because some of these communities are kind of hardcore, and they say, don't go into the story. You're not your story. You're going back into the dream. Don't do that. Well, yeah, you all know I'm from 12 steps, and we can't skip steps. So, I mean, and I've kind of been wrestling with this, a little bit ashamed. Like, what if my Course in Miracles teacher find out I'm encouraging people to tell their stories? Oh no, I hope they don't find. Well, listen, we had this minister come on board a couple mornings ago, and this guy was badass. His name was Jim. He was black, and he delivered. It was almost like one of these Baptists, but if there could be such a thing, like a non-dual Baptist or a Course in Miracles Baptist. But he started telling a story about how, I don't know, beloved, if you were there, that he was, I don't remember what, he was some sort of a manager of a store, and because he had said the store had been robbed 13 times. And on the last time, one of the robbers put a gun in his mouth. And this man developed a very hard edge. You know, if this is the way the world is, I've got to create an armor. I've got to create a shell. I've got to protect myself from an evil world. What are some of the other messages that we give ourselves when we've been traumatized? There's no one who's come into this ministry that doesn't have a story of trauma. And we don't take these medications because things were going right. We take these medications because we didn't have the coping mechanisms for the experiences that life handed us. And that's why I don't want to judge psychiatry. You know, those pills probably saved my life. But the other part of this ministry is this ministry contains transformational stories. Obviously, Jody. I mean, well, that's why I wanted Jody. That's why I wanted Beloved. You know, and this Black minister, Jim, you know, same story. He said, I'm Black and you're white. And I was listening very carefully because mine was, I'm gay and you're straight. Went up to afterwards and I could feel it. I mean, I felt this man's sermon. Because I mean, there were years when I wouldn't go near a church. I wouldn't go near anything with Christianity. And my emergence from my psychiatric parable, my spirit guide said, you're going to have to forgive Christianity, kiddo, if you truly, if an emergence is what you truly are praying for. Didn't happen all at once. One by one, because this was even after getting off the medications, then all that trauma, you get off the medications, which by the way, were causing trauma in themselves. You know, all the medications were flushed out of my body and still I'm left with this chip in my shoulder hasn't gone anywhere. So one messenger at a time has come into my awareness. It's kind of like, mine's been kind of like a scavenger hunt. You know, take a little bit off this, you know, I can't take the whole chip off all at once, but I can remove little pieces of that chip. And I know they're being removed when I can feel my heart opening. So when this minister gave his testament, and it was more than just the you know, all the things that he had been traumatized with as a young Black man growing up in a Catholic church, you know, being, you know, told what I don't want to go back into the story. But when he had to get on his knees and do a 180 turnaround, you know, repent doesn't mean we get on our knees and bow and homage and say, I was wrong, I'm bad. No, repent simply means we turn around and we go in the opposite direction. It was the story of the prodigal son is because God never stops. God, higher power, Vishnu, Krishna, you know, pick your vernacular, you know, shines. And the reason the prodigal son it was one of the most important parables that was ever told, you know, by Joshua, is because the creator loved that son more. He loved him more because of his psychiatric parable, or in our case, a psychiatric parable, not in spite of it. And this, you know, this minister delivered that profound sermon because of that. You know, Beloved is going to be a healer because of hers. Jody, you're a healer because. I just keep going over and over and over. I'm here to stamp nothing's gone wrong. Something is going very, very right. And anyway, that's my definition of support. I mean, if I were like Jim up there in the pulpit, you know, hallelujah, amen. Someone's got to pick up on that. Beloved, do you want to unmute yourself? It's your turn again. You got to unmute yourself first.
I love what you just said. I just love what you just said. It's so true. You know, it's a celebration. It's to be embraced, and nothing's gone wrong. This world is not against you. Everything is for us. Everything. We just have to ask for help to see it. That chip keeps us from seeing it, because I know better than God, and he should just listen to me. It's obviously a he. These men never listen. So obviously got to be a he God. You just got to, you know, and that's how I built my chip, because I thought I knew better. And it is a great place to be, trusting God and knowing everything happens for me. And if it doesn't appear that way, I can ask for help. I can ask for more light. I can ask for my guides to help me see it with love. And like I told somebody, you know, I don't think Jesus was like, oh, I don't want to see this. This is, you know, he was open. Yes, he wasn't inclusive. He wasn't, he wasn't like that, you know, and it is a friendly world. The hardest thing to see was my role in my suffering. And Tina, that's a huge step. That's a huge step. It takes honesty, this honesty. Wow, I really had to dig down to be that honest. It took, I guess, courage. You know, I just thought I was the worst person in the world. So it takes courage to look at your part and not condemn you, because you know your creator's not condemning you. We just kids, we just finding our way, and we have to be loving and gentle with ourselves. Just like I am with my little grandchildren stuff, you know, I can feel it now. It's okay. Everything's okay. Everything. So Kenneth, that was beautiful.
You know, I want to touch on something you said, which is we have to learn to ask for help. My first couple of years in this community was just doing just that. I found this, I found the Living Miracles community in May of 2017. And I realized this is no different from my 12-step community. Take the phone, and it was so hard to ask for help. I'm here to stamp that every time I ask for help, you know, because this tape inside said, number one, they're going to shame you. Number two, they're going to criticize you. Number three, they're going to put an all points bulletin. If you share with these people your shadow, they're going to put an all points bulletin out, you know, and they're going to have the people in the white coats come and arrest you, because you're going to start exposing these people. You're not supposed to expose to people, you know, your shadow, because those are some of the things you got to keep secret, because if anybody found out what you're really thinking and believing, you could be arrested, Kenny. You know, so put on the mask. Well, all of, you know, and then those pills, you know, help me keep the mask on for a little bit while longer. Eventually, you know, pills go out the wayside, mask begins to fall off. You know, we're in a community that based on the Course in Miracles. And the Course in Miracles is not a unicorns and rainbow community. We're not here to say everything's unicorn, everything's unity, everything's love, like, yeah. No, we're here to say, look, folks, down deep inside, we all contain what's called the shadow. And we don't recover by putting, you know, light on top of the shadow. We recover by sharing the shadow courageously with a mighty companion. And it dissipates with the miracle of alchemy. And that's the work that we do here, folks. Every time I reached out to somebody, just the opposite of my fears took place. I was embraced, I was commended, and I was shown I wasn't shown the full picture. I was shown the next right step just for that one day. This, you know, emerging from a psychiatric parable is no different from recovering from drugs. It's no different from recovering from alcohol. So I call it psychiatric sobriety, just vernacular. So the 12-step days, it was one day at a time. Everyone is like, in the world of my mental illness was caused because I thought I had control over my world. I thought I could plan it. I thought I could manage it, and good luck with that. Everyone has to try and control. Everyone has to try and manage till they realize it's an impossible situation. And that was when, you know, I finally, the miracle happened when I collapsed. And I finally just handed the car keys over to Creator. And I said, you drive this car, because obviously, you know, what I'm doing is not working. And slowly my life began to fall into place organically. I can't explain it. Maybe somebody else can. Maybe Tina can. Maybe Jody can. And Amy, if you're listening to this, I hope this can inspire courage. The most valuable tool I have is to share with you what a fucked up mess, this man was, and to share with you, I'm happy now, and I'm loving life. This community, just yesterday, I'm still kind of struggling with the gay thing here. And I'm the only gay man here. Well, no, I'm not. Because yesterday, Kai came through he's over there at another community 3 blocks away. He messaged me and he came over and he sat down and we had a joining for 45 minutes. A 56-year-old gay man who came out in the 1980s, and we both made eye contact. There was nothing sexual going on between us. And he said, I'm ready to move beyond the gay identity. I said, I can't do this alone. I've had, a lot of straight women in this community say, well, when are you going to drop the gay identity? Hell, fuck you. But no way. I'm not going to listen to no straight woman, preacher, ex-Christian tell me to drop my gay. Guess what? A 56-year-old gay man to a 55-year-old gay man. We very gently together in an intimate, nothing physical, eye contact. We didn't plan it either. We both made eye contact and we both made the decision to outgrow, not to drop it, to outgrow it, not to say, oh, I'm straight. I'm not straight. He's not straight. No, I love having sex with men. And I'm sure he said the same thing. No, the identity itself. See, this is what I love about the Course in Miracles, and beloved, and Tina's joining on board too. The Course in Miracles is a no compromise, says that all the identities are blocking the light, all of them. Black, gay, straight, Christian, Muslim, woman, mother, grandparent, gay, straight. Because, for so much of my parable, we went out into the streets and we fought for our identity. We fought for our rights, but, it's duality. We went to the left, we went to the right. Now we're collapsing it and we're going vertical. It's a beautiful thing, not in spite of these stories. We're all, all of us are in our 50s, 40s, 50s. This is a right and a privilege we have earned, sacred. And now that we've earned it, we realize if we drop all those identities, the other identity that goes with it is the mental illness. What's magical about this is that these attached to all these identities is illness itself. Someone's got to pick up on that. Tina's turn. I'm gonna put you on the spot, Tina. You got to say something now.
Just one thing that's on my mind today is I never in 100 years thought that I would be the recipient of a miracle, but I am. And it wasn't an overnight miracle. It was an over decades miracle. And that's really all I have to say at the moment.
Tina, that's your first. All we need to do is get a crack. It's the cocoon. One crack of light. I love my dam analogy. You've heard my dam analogy, Hoover Dam, 18, feet of concrete at the top, 100 feet of concrete at the base. We take a hammer and we begin to chip. And over time, eventually a crack appears and a single drop of water comes through that crack. Now I'm an engineer. So I know that we have a saying that water will find a way. That one drop of water was going to lead to 2 drops of water. It's going to lead to a trickle of water. That dam's going, sweetie. You have your first miracle. Get ready to start rocking and rolling. That's the first ray of light in the cocoon. That cocoon is unstoppable. The first ray of light means it's butterfly or bust. You're busting out of this thing, sweetie. and hell hath no fury. I've said this to you before, you know, you're like, I can't wait to see what color butterfly wings you're gonna have. This is a good, I was an investor as a young man, you know, and you want to invest. You've said it before, hang with the winners. I don't know what else to say, except good on you, like they say in New Zealand. Your first miracle, they grow exponentially. There. I feel it, folks. I have no explanation for my emergence. You know, all those years of polydrugging, there were years when I was ready to throw in the towel. This can't be happening to my life. This can't be life. You know, I don't, you know, and I kept saying, I don't want this. I don't want this, but I didn't know any other way. It truly, my message is one of grace. That was Beloved's message. That's Jody's message. And Tina just is on board sharing a message of grace. Someone pick up on that. I'm actually feeling guided to close the YouTube archive itself. What I was so much praying for was a testimony by Beloved. I want a whole collection of testimonies. I want to hit this from many different angles. I have a video, I call it Asteroids, because remember if you're 55 or old, remember those video games, you put a quarter in and you play Asteroids, where you have this spaceship and you just have a little joystick and you turn the spaceship different ways and it points the missiles in different directions. And you just pulverize the larger asteroids from many different directions with as many different bullets as possible. These testimonies are just like the game of Asteroids. I just want to pulverize the belief in mental illness. I want to pulverize the belief in damage. I want to pulverize the beliefs. These beliefs are not serving us anymore, and they need not be. What took my emergence, this much time, let's shorten it in half for the next person. So the person before that can shorten it by a quarter. This is the Great Awakening, folks. There's more light coming into this. My cocoon took probably longer than yours because there wasn't as much light hitting the planet. God damn it, 2022. There's light coming from all directions. So I really should be a preacher. I don't know where that comes from. So this is going to be the end of the YouTube archive for Wednesday, July 8th, for the midweek Zoom call for a ministry I've been honored and privileged to host, psychiatricsobriety.com. We started off this ministry. We started off this Zoom call. I like the word beloved. Raina is the name that you're going to see on the Zoom screen, but we're all calling her beloved here because what she delivered was one more testimony that's gonna light the way for others who are truly ready. And folks, I got to add this. There's no hurry. There's no rush. All of us are going to awaken out of this dream. And the good thing about a psychiatric parable is it's not a dream for you. It's a nightmare. People who are having, are dreaming, they don't really want to wake up. If you're having a nightmare, you want to wake up. I'm going to reframe all of this. So those who are having a nightmare really, really have a push to wake up. And that's a good thing because we want to wake up out of the dream itself. Maybe I should just before I wrap this up, I never improved my dream. I never healed my dream, my nightmare. I never healed my nightmare. I woke up from it. It's my story and I'm sticking to it. Kenneth Price for Psychiatric Sobriety. This is a ministry. So I'm going to have a link to my webpage below. If you feel guided, leave a donation. Please leave comments. I need your support, and we want to keep this on board. We want to keep this going. So, God bless everyone. This is the end of the recording for Wednesday, June 8th. God bless. May the force be with you. Bye.